Hey, this is Dan,
Bob,
and Eric
from GigaBoots.com, and welcome to GigaBoots Podcast number 72. We recorded 70, it was for a live stream, it was recorded, but then it didn't really record. So that was the week plus of not a podcast.
So not 72, it's 70 again.
No, 70-2.
Oh, like 10-2, I got
See,
it.
this podcast is a gaming podcast.
And so it needs to have gaming conventions because of names and...
Well,
so
this
of course
isn't
it's going to be like...
In fact, there's no video feed, so it's und.
Are we getting remastered at any point?
No. No.
Wait, this is remastered. This is the re-release of the podcast canon.
But we would have to have recorded the other one. Or we could pay people to come in here and recreate it.
This is the reboot, sorry.
Like Kingdom Hearts 1.
It's rebooted.
They lost all the documents and data for Kingdom Hearts 1, so that remaster is mostly people just remaking Kingdom Hearts 1.
Lovely.
It's really depressing.
Yeah, that's sad.
You people are the worst at video games.
Soma's eyes are just not quite level. Just all the time.
What was his actual name?
Sora.
Soma.
Damn you, Castlevania.
I was like, what's his actual name? Because I know it's Scion, but no one agrees with me. So in any case, hey. Hi.
You know what I'm not sad about? Last podcast I said some dumb things about RAM and memory that no one will ever know.
Why are you bringing it up then? Now they know. Now they know you said.
They don't know. That could be just haha. They won't know how dumb. They can't even imagine how dumb. So.
And the Oculus Rift actually requires Windows 7. Oh, how many RAMs is that?
Start it over. Start this over.
So
Your dick bag.
We're here to talk about. We're here to talk about video games and what we've been playing. So now that I've already covered what I've been playing, Bob, what have you been playing?
I actually got a chance to play a good number of things.
Neat, cool.
New things.
New things.
Like The Witcher and Project Cares. Cars.
Project Carry.
Project Cares.
It's the Care Bears reboot.
Yeah.
I guess.
What button is the Care Bear stare?
I haven't found it yet.
Touchpad.
You gotta
rub it.
Yeah.
And then it goes, whoa, 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 whoa.
That's the sound, right?
Yeah, and then they open their mouths and go,
You and I remember very different Care Bears. You sure it wasn't just bears?
They did not care.
So, okay, now that you've sort of pulled the drape off of that and made me realize that wasn't that show, have you seen the show Gummy Bears? Because now I'm worried that that one
I've seen
also wasn't that. Gummy Bears!
Bears act really
you're going to
frequent
start
in news.
You're going to start your own YouTube series where you dub over all children's animation with
To some extent, I started that work with Naruto.
Yeah, okay. It's
many
true.
years ago. This will just be seen as a natural evolution of that.
Got it.
Hey guys.
So Bob, you played a game.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Tell us about Project Cars first.
Sure.
So Bob, this is a secret. Most people who follow GigaBoots wouldn't know, but Project Cars help you come to the conclusion you're filthy casual.
Yeah?
This thing has like actual professional racing rules, and when Bob's like up against that, he just sort of went, "Wow, this isn't fun."
Wow, racing's hard.
Yeah,
God damn it, guys. So what if I went off the track slightly?
Yeah, it is a harsh video game.
Man, I'm reading this back thing. Ultimate driver journey. Beyond reality, graphics and handling.
But
created and approved by gamers and racing pros. So there's that.
yeah, it literally, you have to do pit stops. You have to, like, be very much on the track. If there's even slightly off the track, your guy on the radio will be like, "Hey, you're getting a red tag. You can't do that.
You fucked up. Stop.
Yeah.
Stop it."
Yeah. So, and then if you
What, you think this is a video game?
if you collide with someone too hard, like even if it's their fault, you can get disqualified.
Jeez.
Yeah. It is
so
ridiculous.
Fun, right?
But I honestly
That's
started
like law-abiding citizen, the game, in the style of GTA. Like, there's all these mechanics to, like, kill people and bang hookers, but if you do any of them, you're instantly arrested and game over.
There you go. You just invented the killer app for the Morpheus.
But yeah, honestly, after like playing it a decent bit, I was starting to get into the feel of racing, and it does take a while to get used to.
The game would really suck on like Morpheus. Because it's so low res, it's like, you're speeding. I didn't know. I couldn't make those numbers out. It was too small.
Also, I'm walking. So the difficulty kind of eases you into it?
No,
or no,
not at all. It just deep ends you.
Like, bam, swim. Do it.
Maybe it would have eased me better if I decided to play the very first thing it suggests, which is kart racing. But I was like, I don't really want to do the kart race.
I don't want to play a kart race. Am I racing on rainbows? Then it's not worth it.
But yeah, I mean, after getting used to the good driving controls and stuff, I was still like, my best place was 6th place, and they made me feel good about that. Strangely enough, they were like, "Well, good job out there."
Like, what?
Right?
You're like,
I don't 20 though.
I don't understand. I've failed beyond all reasoning.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, welcome to my world, Bob. Where we're casual all the time.
When's the last time you played Gran Turismo? Was it when that
6
last one came
yeah.
out 2 years ago?
Yeah, I played it a lot.
So that's
though.
long enough to sort of forget like the harder part of Gran Turismo, and like, because I feel like you should play through most of Gran Turismo's career and then come on over to Project Cars. Like, that is the actual, because, you know, early in Gran Turismo's spec mode, you know, the actual simulation mode, as they call it in earlier ones, they don't have any of those rules. Like, you just bash into people and go off the track and it doesn't matter. But by the end of, like, actually finishing it, which, if I remember correctly, 5 was so polite, it was so nice. It was like, good job, you beat this mode. And it gave you an ending and everything. And then it was like, oh, and here's the real racing if you want to do that. Like, after credit rolls and everything. It was fucking incredible. Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah. So I would have to, like, for me, I feel like I would have to ease back in by playing through all of that and then picking this up. Because I know that this thing, all it's going for is graphics and simulation, not only of the physics, but of the systems that are in professional racing.
What are some of the rewards that you get? Is it like cars or like company?
You actually start with all the cars unlocked to do in solo mode, but for campaign mode, it's super weird. I don't know what I'm really earning other than I chose like a contract to sign.
You're earning car bucks. Clearly,
I'm not. There are no car bucks.
He said 0 car bucks.
I've competed in like 2 or 3 races now. I don't really know what I'm getting. I'm just like, when is someone going to give me another contract so I can play any other kind of race? Because the race I chose ended up being something that's only a single car can be used in.
So like, I'm a gamer. So where's my positive reinforcement?
So I don't even know. Like, I'm not sure if I need to complete a full season to get more possibilities of places to race,
to win in a race, to get prize money or sponsorships, or
because you get for the rank you place, you get placed in the somewhere in the tournament that's going on, and there are several races in each like tournament. And you're trying to, get points for beating that tournament, but I haven't got enough to actually win one. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Honestly, my biggest complaint is the kind of lack of explaining on that end of things, because that's kind of frustrating when you're just like, okay, what am I getting?
Yeah, how do I do?
And where do I start? Like, when I booted up the game originally and did campaign mode, I was looking at the like car selection, or not car selections, the different leagues I could choose. And it literally is just a tiny little picture that has some text in it. Like, some of them say F1, other ones say touring, other ones say different things. First one I chose was FR, because I was like, I like front wheel drive cars. That sounds cool. I click it. And then I'm stuck in the Formula 1 racing. And I signed the contract, so I can't change anything. I just went back and deleted my character so I could start again, because I didn't want to do Formula 1 racing.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, it's like, this really needs like a blurb of text anywhere that tells me what I'm selecting.
You can't do that. You signed a contract to try and back out. The game stops you. You signed a contract.
But I do admire that it like tries to make you feel like a race car driver. You aren't. It's
A rice car driver?
Yes.
A race.
Rice car driver.
You said rice car, man.
Yes, but you aren't.
If I'm gonna be dumb on this podcast, so is everyone else.
Bring it.
Your face is dumb.
There's no video.
Shit.
But yeah, it just...
I was about to say, whoever edits this, oh no, it's you. He has me coming and going.
He's in control of the vertical and the horizontal. I was gonna say that honestly, all of that reminds me of really old PC games where like they came with a giant manual and they just like didn't explain shit inside of it. But then you removed the giant manual.
There is jack shit in that Project Cars.
There's text on the inside of that.
It's the legal documentation.
It's the legal.
It's the warranty.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
man, turn that around to have a cool. Like,
yeah. Oh my God.
Cars.
Return it like that. That would just be incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like that's the thing though. It just reminds me of that sort of like. What, you hit that key? That doesn't... Don't you know that blows up your tank? You should have read the manual.
Why is there a button to do that?
I don't know. Why is there a button to do that? Fucking PC games.
The first racing game I ever played was, I think, on a floppy disk on an old Mac. It was Math Racer. You typed in, like, answers to math problems real quick, and the better you got, the better car you got to fight, like, the dreaded math dragster, and you had to beat him by mathing.
As you told me this anecdote, and remind me of the other anecdotes you told me of, like, here are games from my childhood, and I'm like, oh, man... It's like talking to that guy who was into really lame, weird educational music when he was young, and then I was like, oh wait, Eric is that guy, literally. He isn't like that guy. He's the like weird Carmen Sandiego intro theme band guy who owned an album of that.
Look, man. Runs. A lot of my first gaming experiences were educational. A lot of like Rotorbund, Carmen Sandiego, math, like Treasure Mountain stuff.
I would like to say the games from my youth, especially
Peter Rabbit,
early Atari and PC, were also educational. They reinforced cynicism and a complete lack of optimism because my first game was E.T.
Oh, Jesus.
And Superman for the Atari 2600.
For me, growing up, like, Carmen Sandiego was, like, the hardest thing because I was like, what are places? Clack, clack, clack. I'm just gonna go to random locations and see if she's there. Meanwhile, my dad's like, it's this. I only
tried to do a trench run.
I had that game too, and I was awful.
Yeah, it was.
Of course, I had a trackball, but my dad,
so everything was awful.
Growing up, for some reason, I remember my dad just being baller at video games. Like Prince of Persia, I tried to get through. I could get to like maybe the third level. I saw him playing Prince of Persia. Like, oh, that's cool. Dad's playing a game. I looked at it. He was on some level of Prince of Persia I'd never seen before in my life, and I was like, "Ow!" He's like, "I'm just playing a game." What? Like, how are you doing this with your adult mind? Anyway, Project Cars.
I think I'm done.
Okay, Witcher. You said Witcher.
Yes, Witcher.
Sorry, can you say the full title? It just isn't.
Witcher 3: The Wild Hunt.
Thank you.
So how wild is that hunt?
That hunt seemed pretty wild.
Yeah?
Fucking.
The Wild Hunt, I don't know if you've been briefed on this. There's these riders that come from, like, the Netherworld or something?
Yeah, I saw Mad Max.
Okay. They're just these dudes that look like they're the Lord of the Rings wearing like ridiculous plate mail with skulls on it.
Bitchin'.
And teleporting out and then just showing up and killing people.
Gotcha. So they're all right.
So I've only seen them in cutscenes so far. I haven't actually
that seems wise.
Hunted the Wild Hunt.
Okay, great. I'm gonna hunt this hunt.
Yeah.
Hunt for the Hunt October.
Yes.
So, I mean, other than that...
Other than that, other things than that?
Other things than the what? I mean, have you played a Witcher game before?
I've only played the demos of 1 and 2 on the PC when they came out, and those were both pretty unbearable to me. Yeah.
I've heard that they're basically like single-player MMOs. Like you go to a town, take some quests, go out, do stuff.
I don't know. I didn't even play Fire 2 for that. This one is a little different because you get a big old area to go around. You go in the town, you find like a quest board, but then it just sort of fills the world with little question marks all over the map.
Sounds a bit more like Dragon Quest Inquisition then. Like a big area, and you've got points of interest to go to. Or Skyrim.
Yeah.
I'm going with the last reference I had.
Look, I wasn't here last gen, you guys!
I played Skyrim. Shut up!
You played Scrim?
I said Scrim. I
played Scrim!
I played Skyward Sword. Shit, I played Skyward Sword.
Sorry, everyone. Wrong game.
Wrong jump.
That explains the long shot.
Wrong gen.
Yeah, basically. So,
but yeah.
How witch is it? Is it witcher than the last?
Is it witchier?
I assume it's witcher than the last.
Is it witcher?
Like I said, I didn't play that much Witcher.
Yeah. But are you liking it so far?
It seems all right. I'm liking it more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Because I typically don't get into these kind of games at all. The only thing that really bugs me is that the way that he moves is really hard to control.
What? The way that he... God damn it!
I got it. I wasn't going to say...
Get out!
But yeah,
People who don't get it right now are like, what was that? What is that, an inside joke? I haven't listened to the radio in 20 years! Help! No, you're fine. Stay there.
But yeah.
If you didn't get the I like the way she moves, but joke, then you're probably better off than the three of us.
You're better off not knowing. So about how he moves.
Yes, he moves poorly, I would say. Like,
it's a part of becoming a witcher. You lose your emotions, your hair turns gray, you get cerebral palsy.
So he's like Quap, basically. Just.
But yeah, getting him to turn can be a hassle. Getting him to jump up things, like there are certain things that he'll climb automatically, and that system doesn't work 100% of the time. That system maybe works 50% of the time.
I mean, how much platforming is there in The Witcher?
There's a surprising amount of
elevation.
There's
like beachy shores with high peaks right next to the shore. So like you kind of need to climb up these tiny little rocks to get up it. I watched him do it. It was kind of funny. Like one time he called his horse. Do you want to tell it or
no? You go ahead.
Yeah, he's like horse, where are you? And then nothing. And he's like, fine, I'll just fucking crawl out of here. He crawls all the way to the top of that, like, really high up mountainy peak almost next to the
cliff?
I mean, you could call it that, yeah, but it's weirdly rocky for being right next to a normal shore.
So he over kind of thing?
He, like, climbs to the top of that, and he's just looking around, and then his horse is just on the beach staring at him like it came from the ocean. And he's just like... Horse? Are you a mermaid?
Are you a merhorse? Nay. Oh, so you're not. Nay.
Okay, you leave. That was a terrible joke.
Yep.
What a terrible night for a joke.
But yeah, there's actually the world actually looks really nice. Like I gotta say, it's not. It's pretty. It's a pretty game.
It is pretty game.
Now, since the last game of this type that I played was Dragon Age Inquisition, I have to ask, is there a tacked-on money grab multiplayer option for Witcher 3?
No.
I don't know if this is next gen. I don't know.
Also, unlike Dragon Age, it looks pretty.
I think it looks pretty good.
Then you're fucking wrong.
I mean, some of the mustaches look awful.
And most of the faces look hideous.
Well,
the terrain looks unremarkable. And the lighting looks weird.
Hey.
Hi!
Maybe since I came from beyond last gen, it looks good to me.
I'm here from 2004! Look at these bump maps!
Whoa!
That was around on the Xbox. Fine then! I'm here from 1999!
So yeah.
But yeah, The Witcher does look really pretty.
Cool.
And the combat, it's better than I thought it would be. Like it's got this system where you kind of can counter stuff, and it all feels a little wonky, kind of like the movement, but I'm surprised they put even as much work into that as there was. And
Yeah, when you see games like Skyrim, it is kind of surprising when there's a really involved combat system.
Right, this is actually like, you have to think about a lot of things. You can buy like oils to oil up your swords to do have effect on certain enemy types.
Yes, you're about to say you can buy oils to oil yourself up and have an effect on certain enemies.
And now enemies can't grab you.
I think
though they try, they might.
And they will.
And they will.
I think there's actually some sort of poison you can take that, like, if enemies bite you, they get poisoned.
That's really cool. Yeah, a lot of the things I hear about combat in this is that where it's like cool and deep in the way that you don't expect games with actual graphics to be, like, you know, board games or like D&D, stuff like that.
Or that friggin' real D chess that looks, you could see the wood grains on the pieces.
God damn it.
And you're like, if there was a game like this.
Not like that intricate, but if you were a game.
The first time you saw that, I could swear I could see a bulge in your pants. It's like,
it was fucking, it's a game that's a tech demo that's a game. Like, fucking hell. Best looking game on the Vita.
It's like, is that the wood I click over? Is that the metal? It's so shiny.
Jesus.
Oh, the matte finish. Oh.
Lucrezia. Yeah, like, it's so deep and involved. Like, what was it? I was hearing anecdotes of like a person fighting this enemy and just being like, wow, these physical attacks aren't working. I guess I could use magic and keep using this fire spell, but then it turns out you need to enchant with the certain thing that allows it to be damaged in a specific way. And it's like, oh, I would have known that if I read the bestiary. Fucking, and I'm like, that's awesome. Oh God.
Right.
Like in the drinking the poison thing where that's crazy. That is really cool.
Yeah, they lots of neat little touches like that. And I'm like, that's nice. Like, I seriously, I did every little side mission in the first area before I left it. And I usually just don't want to do that sort of stuff. But this one, I actually felt like I was being rewarded for doing that sort of thing. Like finding new weapons frequently. What actually had logical places for them, and you actually get, like, you can find diagrams for new weapons. Just in the first area, cool. It's like schematics, and then you have to go figure out where you need the pieces for that.
That's neat.
And I was like, that's...
So it's not like you wander into, like, an armory with just armor and shields and everything. Oh, look, a cloth cape. A magic wand. Yay.
I mean, that sort of stuff happens too, but no magic wands, because...
Oh, well, yeah.
Look, man.
He's a witcher.
The witchers don't do that.
And now I'm going to ask a very important question. Have you had sex with anyone yet?
No, I don't think that happened until, like, really late.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Weird.
Which kind of makes sense. Don't you spend a lot of this looking for, what's her name?
Yennefer. They make it seem like you do, but then she just shows up at the end of the tutorial.
Huh.
And then she's like, yeah, come with me, man.
Let's go.
And I guess that his other love interest gets introduced soon, too. Because I think that in this one, I might be wrong here, they're just the two love interests and you choose.
Yes, that's my understanding as well. What's the name of the second one? Gwyneth Paltrow? Or
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
That did not go down smooth.
I also did not get to the point where you switch to the other playable character. I don't know how that works.
Okay.
But
I'm worried that it's a plot thing and that people talking about it are kind of spoiling it. Like, oh, main character dies and then you switch.
Whoops.
I don't think
now
it's
he's
that.
a girl or a guy.
That's a side effect of becoming a witcher. You kind of become
randomly
your daughter or whatever.
Your genitals switch.
Every now and again, you know, in a blue moon, Freaky Friday happens and you become your daughter.
Watch out.
Okay, weird. I mean, weird.
A little bit.
I always found it funny that they never had the gender swap in those movies where they take the role of their parents.
Because
that would be like, I mean, a like 10-year-old girl or teenager would take the place of her father and be like, "Look at my dick!" It'd be like fucking weird.
And it would also be father is his hot daughter, must not fondle self. No.
I'm gonna go get laid. This is gonna be awesome. Wait, I'm a chick.
Uh-oh.
This is gonna be weird. So he comes back to adult dad body. I think I'm gay now. Thanks, daughter. Yes, I sure love cock.
That was great. Let me tell you.
Speaking of cock, we're playing Devil May Cry 2. Let's play. We can talk about that now.
Oh no! Can we?
We can.
I love how the thought process, apparently, I wasn't here for this meeting.
Right.
I wasn't here. It was like, well, we're not going to play Lords of Shadow 2 because fuck that. So what other awful game should we play?
What Let's Play have, like, you just look at all the Let's Plays we've ever done, and it's like, what game is a glaring omission? And after we did Bayonetta 2, which didn't even, like, the game itself didn't ask to be Let's Played, like, Devil May Cry 2 really does. Where it's just like, hey, the very fabric of my being makes me a puzzle game. Figure out the game! What's happening? No one knows! Dante walks up to a guy and he's like, hey, who are you? And he goes, do you need to ask? And then he's like, yeah, good point. Summons a demon.
A Minotaur.
I just, fucking A. That game is incomparable. Like, there has never been such an incomprehensible game ever. That thing is in its own league.
It's absurdist fiction.
Like, fucking Sinner Sandwich as a cutscene doesn't match up to that game.
Yeah, it's harsh. Remember when we found one thing and then this old lady came up and said, oh good, you found all 3 of those and had the other 2?
Yeah, and then she just handed it to you and she's like, yeah, go give this to that person. See ya.
And this game has a lot of disdain for transitioning scenes.
Yes, no.
He exits an area and now he's across the planet. He's in somewhere else now. Connecting, we don't need that. People are smart. They don't need to see that.
No, like cohesion's for idiots.
No, I'm not gonna ruin it. I was about to say
don't. So yeah, that's going amazingly well. Exactly as well as I imagined.
Shooting things works really well, yeah.
I saw that, yeah.
Especially devil shooting things.
Devil shooting things is the best.
It is the best. Like, it's just, yeah, nope. It's like anything else is a waste of fucking time.
It's like you turn into that and just everything turns into a cloud of blood mist. Just,
yeah, especially the Poise.
The Poise! Which is like contender for best character of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Eric. Or Bob, have you played anything else?
You played a gaggle of games.
I did. Those were the main 2 that I was like, okay, those are new games. I should talk about new games.
Now I'm going to play Diddy Kong Racing on the DS.
But yeah, I don't think I really played much of other games. I played more Ecclesia. I played a lot more of Ecclesia.
Yeah.
So
now I'm going to start my annual restarting of Miramasa.
That's okay.
Oh no.
I mean, with how much DLC it had.
Right, I played a lot of that.
Yeah.
I could go back and finish some of the extra game modes in those DLC. Well, not extra game modes, but you have to like beat every other boss in the game. Is each special character, then beat the original boss for that game or that expansion again, and then you get a new ending.
Wow.
I've only done that for one of them so far.
That sounds awful.
A little bit.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's fun because then you get to level up your character more, and there's more stuff to unlock and more abilities.
Okay. So what other games? You said Ecclesia?
But yeah, Ecclesia. That game is still good. I recently beat it. The only problem is the end game, which is still bad.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean,
exactly right. Like that it is. Yeah.
I now collected everything from inside that cave area, which is their like absurdly powerful zone where you go in and fight monsters.
Yeah.
And demons. And yeah, I kind of have to use the freaking flying around, shooting my laser beams to beat it. And
yeah, Bob really hates the wings.
Yeah.
Like, because you equip the wings and fly, and then you shoot lasers.
And completely change the way the game plays in every possible way.
Yep.
Oh, good.
It's
great.
That's
and they feel really weird and not done because you can do stuff like hit the jump button and down while you're winging, and then it makes the sound effect for kicking down, and nothing really happens.
Yeah. It's real weird.
Yeah, it is. It is probably not completely done. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, no, not really. Anything else, Bob?
Not really.
Okay.
I started hard mode, but
I don't know.
That's right. Bob realized hard mode on Ecclesia is hard mode on Ecclesia.
Well, I started hard mode with my level 40 character. So that's really weird because it's like you guys are all complete jokes until I get to any sort of booby trap, which is just it does like almost half a health bar. And then I got to an area that had those skull spiders. You remember those?
Yeah.
Those just move super fast in hard mode. It's weird.
Yeah.
Right.
I've actually played a ton of hard mode. I'm pretty far in it. And I started with a level 1 character.
Getting past those freaking traps must have been insane because you would just die in one hit.
Yeah. Like, a lot of that is don't fuck up, you'll die in one hit. Like, ugh. Like, you can take 2 hits in that one forest scene. You know, the forest level. You can take 2 hits. That is it for the entire thing. The thing, just so we're clear, is about 15 screens long, completely linear, and full of enemies.
Bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal. Speaking of brutal, I am now playing Diddy Kong Racing.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Like, I didn't know that the DS version had like Dixie Kong, Tiny Kong.
I think the original had them.
No. It did not.
It did not have Dixie. Okay, that's true.
It didn't have Dixie of all?
It didn't have Dixie. It did no other.
It was named Diddy Kong
It had
Racing.
Banjo. So. It had all the animal characters, but none of the other Kongs beside Diddy.
Yeah, because it was supposed to be a rare showcase.
Yeah,
it was all supposed to be rare characters, but they didn't just want it to be a bunch of Donkey Kong characters.
Because those were the only memorable ones, so they didn't want to get them in there.
I mean, the problem was that like Rare spent forever working on games. Like Conker was supposed to be in a game before Conker's Bad Fur Day. Did that ever come out? Because
I could have sworn it was like a handheld game with him in it.
The Game Boy one?
I think so.
Somebody should look that up.
Yeah, I remember there being some friendly version of Conker before we got Bad Fur Day.
I've just never seen it, so that may be half of why I'm like...
But
yeah, I don't know.
So, that's cool.
Not really. It's just high frame rate, lower quality graphics,
it
but higher frame rate.
It is still Diddy Kong Racing, and therefore... not great.
I mean, here's the thing. I still think Diddy Kong Racing is incredible because it has the best single player in a racing game. Like, the way they structure it, it is the Super Mario 64 of racing games.
It certainly does have an overworld, yes.
And that's not really what I'm saying there, but you can take it as that.
It also has, multiple tracks designed around different... I still say Crash Team Racing.
Why?
Because it controls well, it feels fast, the levels are interesting, it has an overworld, it has many challenges, it has lots of different ways to play each track.
Mm-hmm.
It is genuinely fun to play, whereas I would rather pull out some teeth than play Diddy Kong Racing again.
Oh, okay. Now, Bob, would you rather pull out some teeth rather than play Crash Team Racing again?
I don't know. Most of them, I'm just like, screw that.
No, yeah, I get it. I'm just trying to bring up the point of like it's very subjective. I'm just
but
I mean, I'm bringing up Super Mario 64 in comparison to this because of how like all the levels are multi-layered, so they're designed to be played in different ways. Like they built one level and then built many ways to go through it, and then built like goals basically, so you would, so that way there was a reason to that. I mean... I like the feel of Crash Team Racing better. Here's the thing that kills me, though. Yeah. You like the feel of Crash Team Racing. You like that a lot, but you still shit on Mod Nation. Like, there are generally 2 groups of people. People who... And, like, the first group's really small. People who understand that Mario Kart's not the only racer. Yeah. And then the other group where every kart racing game other than Mario Kart feels like shit to them. So you are this weird oddity where you're like, Mario Kart feels great, Mod Nation feels like shit, but Crash Team Racing also feels great. And that sort of makes people raise an eyebrow because it's like, but Crash Team Racing I feel plays a bit better than Mario Kart to me. Okay, so you're Satan. Apparently I have the worst gaming opinions. Why am I even on a podcast? So that way people can get angry at you. So that way people can listen to what I say and go, oh, so the thing I should do is the exact opposite of what that asshat said. I hope to have friends ever. I played games this week. Oh. You want to hear about them?
Was it Crash Team Racing?
No!
Good, we don't want to hear about that.
I hate you all.
Not as much as we hate Crash Team Racing. I actually don't have that much beef with Crash Team Racing. I just, like, what was it, 5 years ago? You were like, hey, check it out, Crash Team Racing. It's so good, let's play it. I'm like, okay, sure, I've never played it. Naughty Dog's never made a bad game before. Plays it. I was wrong. That's about how that went.
Wow. Okay, well.
I don't know, guys. The best kart racer is definitely Mega Man's
Sonic R, you mean?
No.
Battle and Chase.
Battle and Chase.
I wanted a Sega Saturn for that game.
We actually play a commercial at my job for Batman, and they talk about his Batmobile and how it has the battle mode and the chasing mode, and I'm just like, yeah!
The battle and the chase.
That's taxing.
So I played games.
What'd you play?
I played some games last week, but I don't even care about their, like... I played this week, I played a lot of Soul Sacrifice Delta, which was on sale a couple weeks ago. Last time I basically gotten like 30 minutes into it, and now I've put like a sizable more chunk of time into it. Mm-hmm. The game does open up, like, very slowly starts to like, oh, here's the systems, here's how you enjoy the game. Like, you can, depending on if you save or sacrifice someone, you like get different arm powers with different sigils for different like stat bonuses, like resistances to stuff or damage or boosting, which is neat. You get better, and you get the ability to not only get like abilities to use in battle, but you can fuse them together, and you can put two together to make a better one with more uses per battle.
When you use up an ability, though, is it still just gone?
No, you can pay a small amount of money to put it up.
Okay.
So yeah, but there are ways to replenish your like ammo, spell ammo in stages. After you beat like the first like portion of each like faction, because there are factions in this game that weren't in the previous one apparently, you unlock a shop, which you can get all sorts of shit, like different costume options, other quests, other like multiplayer options and stuff. It's pretty cool. Yeah, and there are, I mean, this game still does occasionally make me vomit, just like, sometimes. Some of the monster designs they really enjoy just completely turning around, reinterpreting like fairy tales to be the most gruesome thing possible. Like, for instance, the big bad wolf is reinterpreted as a man basically wore this really scary ass armor and designed it to be that way, so anytime he met someone on the field, it looked like a wolf. And they would just surrender immediately, so he never actually had to fight anyone. So he went into a war, and he's like, I'm gonna fight some people. Mistake. He gets his ass handed to him, he crawls away to like a nearby mountainside, where there's this old cabin with a lady inside. This is where I'm going. Yeah, but except he gets there, and he's like, trying to intimidate her, like, I'm just a crazy scary guy, give me food. And then she paused for a second, goes, okay, and seems really like okay with it, and like feeds him for a couple days, and then he goes out and comes back, and like there's a big bunch of food, and just a note for her saying, enjoy, sweetie. And then he like eats it, and then realizes, oh no, I ate her, because she left a note like, I let you eat my flesh because you remind me of my son, and his name was blank. And he goes, oh god, that's my name. I didn't know my parents as a child, so I ate my mom. So he cuts himself open to try and get out the food, but then he instead finds the old woman's head, and she goes, gotcha, bitch. Apparently she's an ageless witch. This is how she maintains her immortality, by being eaten by other people and taking over their bodies. This is how it happens. This game is fucked. Yeah, and you fight that of a big guy in armor with an old lady head sticking out of his stomach.
That's really gross.
Yes. Yes, it is. Welcome to the Soul Sacrifice. Oh, and I'm
glad I didn't play more than that demo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Almost every single enemy description, all the places, all the enemies have this like grotesque aspect to them. There's a level called Resplendent Rapunzel. You know what it is? Just heads and hair everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Just like elongated necks dangling like because long ago mothers wanted to protect their children from bandits in the towns, so they made a wish, and their heads grew out and became houses for their family. Yeah. This game is nightmare fuel. Like, if Nightmare was made in nuclear reactors, if nuclear reactors, instead of running off nuclear isotopes, ran off of horrible, horrible nightmares, that's what this game. This game would be at the center of that core. But it's kind of fun. I mean, I played with Rosa Chan and Wakana for a bit, and kind of unfortunately, Wakana is like almost max level in that game, so we're like, let's fight this boss. Stomped immediately. Let's fight a harder boss, please. Goddamn. We had to get up to like 2 bosses in the unending labyrinth before it started getting challenging because she kept just curb stomping everyone.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate when that happens in a game. Do you want to play Dragon's Crown?
Maybe.
Fucking yeah. Hella.
But yeah, it was still fun. It was still a lot of fun, and
Fucking. Sorry, slight detour.
Yeah.
So I was filming that wedding yesterday, and some dude's like, "Hey, you like Dragon's Crown?" I'm like, "Yeah, I like Dragon's Crown." He's like, "That's cool. What's your character?" And I stared at him for a moment, and I just. All of them. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm 2 trophies away from a platinum. I've sunk over 100 hours into that game. You don't even know.
You just scream and run away?
That's like my fucking favorite game for the last 10 years, basically. Like, that game was really fucking good. But yeah, like, and somehow it still didn't sink in. So after that, he's like, what did you say you played as again? And I'm like, you
think of a character.
I've been through every difficulty with most characters, and I've beaten the game as every. I don't know. Fucking, what do you need?
I got it, bitch.
I need to do one more run for the fucking platinum anyway, so I'll probably play a wizard. Because the wizard's one of the easier to do it with.
You can cast meteors.
Yeah, he has to, one of the 2 remaining trophies is do a hojillion damage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the other one is make every food item.
Oh,
so that's me getting a checklist.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, which I'm okay with that, just because, like, across a whole playthrough, that's not bad. It's when you hit the end of the game and realize you should have done that across your past 7 playthroughs.
Right.
Or whatever. Oh, that game's so good. I'm actually considering setting up a thing sometime soon.
I haven't played as the sorceress, like, at all.
She makes food. And
oh, yeah, she
skeletons.
can just appear food.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool.
That is a thing.
Going back to Soul Sacrifice, something that it is a sort of Grand Hunt, like Monster Hunter-esque game, but something that separates it from that genre is in a lot of them there's...
Wait, is it a Wild Hunt too?
Maybe. It's pretty wild.
Okay.
But how witch is it?
You are playing a magic casting person, and you could be a lady, so you could be...
But is it witch-ist?
Oh, it could be... Is Witcher, and Witchist. It's Witcherist.
So what sets it apart?
Sets it apart is that in a lot of the other Monster Hunter games, and all Monster Hunter Tokiden as well, that there's a lot of farming, a lot of collecting resources and zones to chase something through. In Soul Sacrifice, there is one arena. There is no map. You just go to a thing and fight it, and you don't have to worry about hunting it down and finding it anywhere. You just have to run to it. You even get like special sorcerer vision to see like it's there. Bam! You could also notice like breakable spots in its health and stuff.
Sort of reminds me of God Eater. Like God Eater was a bit more like that, where it was a very small region and you weren't necessarily tracking the enemies.
Right. It was just, hey, he's here. There was more than just one, and I assume there's more than just one thing in each zone there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, and this game adds enemies, mobs are welcome during a big boss fight because they're largely how you replenish your like spell ammo.
Yeah. Like any good game.
And what's even better is that those big ass monsters who do their giant swings will also kill those enemies. So it's like blam, just like you dodged it but killed like 3 enemies. It's like, well then, haha, replenished my healing spells, thank you. So that's fun. But yeah, I mean, it's cool. It makes it so I don't have to hunt around for stuff. I just like, okay, what do I need? I need to fight this guy. I go to a mission that fights that guy, and I do it. Pretty straightforward. It streamlines a lot of that stuff, and a lot of it is just going into your loadout and stuff. You don't have to worry about, I need to hunt for this thing somewhere in this map. There's some small chance. I mean, you get better rewards based on how well you do. There's like a scoring system and a ranking. So there's that. So that incentivizes you to do well.
That's neat. At the same time, kind of like that's one of my favorite parts of the Monster Hunter games.
It's the hunting around the
zones.
actually
finding things and having to chase them down, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is its own sort of thing. But I mean, when you're focused on what was
shooting your spinal cord at monsters, it's just you don't want to think about it.
There's an entire category of blood magic where you just shoot blood out of your wrist at people and it hurts.
Just like Spider-Man.
Just like Spider-Man. You after you beat
Gritty Spider-Man reboot.
What?
Good.
Blood just flies out and he starts up.
And he screams every time.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
There is when you fight bosses, they're actually all people corrupted in some way. You can choose to either kill them or save them. If you I've never killed them. I've always saved them because, like, in a game as dark and gross, I'm gonna be the savior this town deserves. And I save everyone, but every time you save them, you get like an NPC helper that you can take on teams with you into missions.
Huh.
And everyone's different. So that's cool. I don't know. I mean, and you also get when you
can you get wolf guy?
Yes. I want to say yes. I don't know what happens when you sacrifice someone. I haven't done it yet, to be honest. Eventually
in the title, Eric. Why didn't you become infamous?
I'm so sorry. Why didn't you become the God of War? There is also a third option in this game, in this version, called Fate, which is the third faction of the Grimm, where it's like the two sides are like sacrifice people a lot, save people a lot, and this one's like leave it up to fate, do a thing. It's in the middle. It's completely random whether it'll save someone or not. And they're all about like middle path, revoke both ways, do our own thing kind of thing. The titles that you get for it are the best because with the kill everyone clan, whatever, you get the titles you get are like sorcerer or like stuff like that, like grand whatever, like magic-y names.
Right.
For the save everyone clan, that's all like monk and cleric and holy kind of helpy people save religious-y stuff. And for all the Grimm, the neutral parties, I saw the first time I saw Rose's title, she was Grimm, Great Atheist. It's like, yes, I need to go into Grimm just to get that title. Like Grand Atheist, like others, it's great, it's great, it's good. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's good times. It's just I'm still occasionally like, whoa, okay, let's fight. Like the frog prince is really someone's riding a giant frog, and the tongue is a bound up person. It's fucked. It's just real fucked.
So, have you played anything else?
I did.
What else did you play?
Remember how way back when I played Ether 1 or tried to? Because it had no way to invert camera controls. They released a patch that, among other things, let me invert camera controls so I can play it now. So I played it for like an hour and a half on the stream. And it's something. It certainly is something.
Yeah.
It is, you wander around a place, you find clues and do a thing. It is basically Myst. But you're delving into someone's brain mind you're breaking into their mind house and you're looking around trying to find problems with it, like dementia and things like that. And you're specifically focusing on this one patient to like prove the veracity of this Ether 1 program of delving into someone's mind.
So it's Remember Me.
Yes, it is also Psychonauts. There are lots of doors everywhere. In fact, you go into this place and you find like a chunk of ethereal ore, and the person on the comm like, destroy it. And I'm like, okay, I put it in like a smasher. It starts screaming, and she's like, ignore it, just keep smashing it. I'm like, okay, sure. I try smashing it, it stops, it levitates away, disappears, and makes a door appear. I just kind of stare and look at it for a bit and go, I don't trust you. I don't like what it, and then it opens and sucks me in. And I start falling through doors in successive weird areas until I end up in a town, a cozy beachside town. I'm like, that was a hell of a thing. So, and now, like, that was just the first area was pretty easy. Like, find a thing. Though we write our passwords on the back of plates for some reason. We're minors, so I flipped a plate over and I saw it had a number on it, so I opened a safe and I finished the area. But the next area is like there are multiple houses with multiple like I hit a thing here and then you place a thing and like you can carry things across memory dimensions and like this got real complicated real quick. I'm gonna have to take a break. My brain hurts. So, but yeah, I mean it's on Unreal Engine and it's a little janky about it.
Yeah.
So that
how nostalgic.
But I mean, I'd be willing to put some more time into it. It seemed like an interesting-ish premise, and hopefully my brain won't explode playing it some more. So yeah, it seems neat.
Have you played anything else?
No, I haven't.
I played Diddy Kong Racing
Just now?
Yeah.
on the DS. Now,
Okay.
I want to talk about it real quick.
Gonna expand on that?
Yeah, let me just, we're gonna turn
There's
on.
Diddy's and there's Kongs.
It's just, like, that doesn't sound as good as the N64 version did. I'm just gonna let that run for a little bit longer. Yeah, and, so on top of that, they added weird touch mini games.
Oh no.
Normally what would happen in Diddy Kong Racing is you would go to from the larger overworld to a smaller hub world where the levels are now themed. Sort of similar to Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, where you would run from the main hub that wasn't a very good overworld. That's like my one complaint with that game, otherwise it's fucking perfect. Like, God, I love Crash 3. Crash 2. Now that's for idiots. But in any case. So you go to the smaller hub, and it's got 5 different courses, all themed sort of similarly.
But Crash won. I can beat it, therefore it's good.
And what you needed was an older brother. Here, sweetie, I beat the game with you, as in you beat the game, and you're like, I like this game now!
Yay!
I beat it with my brother! My brother! Like Solid Snake.
I basically had a jackass older brother in my younger brother who just beat me at all games ever.
Who are you? Why do you keep calling me brother? In any case.
You call me master.
So you go to that smaller hub and there would be 5 different courses and you wouldn't have quite enough balloons because you unlock them with balloons instead of stars because they had to not be stars because, man, that would be transparent.
Right.
So they couldn't be Ubisoft and just make everything blatantly the same mechanics. So in any case.
They could be that.
But they didn't. They weren't. And they still aren't because now they don't make games.
That's true.
Battletoads forthcoming. In any case, so you go through 4 of the courses. You have to go back to the overworld because you don't have enough balloons for that last course. So you go out there. And the main dude who runs the overworld's just like, hey, here's a challenge. You need to do this in order to get that balloon, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, okay, cool. It's both giving me a tour of the overworld, showing me places I can go, because now he gives you a plane to do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's one of the neat things about that. And then, like, you get a balloon after succeeding that challenge. You go back in, you finish that last course, and then you challenge the boss. There are boss battles in this kart racer, which is also something neat it does. And they're pretty well done. You know, there are a billion different ways they could have fucked that up. But now, when you beat that boss, he's like, you need to go back to those courses and get the golden balloons in order to challenge me again. Do this for real.
I'm pretty sure
and
they did that in the first game. Oh, wait, before?
Before, thank you for...
Sorry.
Before, they would just have a harder version of the course that had 5 golden balloons split across it, so you had to change in a way that was smart your track, I guess you could call it, the way you drove the course.
Your trajectory.
Yeah. Well, there's a certain racing term that I'm not remembering, which most wouldn't refer to cars as trajectories, but
pathing.
In any case.
I would say pathing.
So in any case...
let me be right about a thing!
Let me talk! In any case...
Never!
Now the 5 balloons aren't there. There isn't a harder version, and it's now a touch minigame where you float around on a magic carpet and you poke balloons that are floating everywhere across the level. There are 50 of them. In order to look around, you can't even use the D-pad to turn your camera. You have to tap and drag in a way that doesn't even make sense, and then you just tap everything. And then there are coins there, too, and the coins don't do anything. And it's every course. All 5 courses you just did, you now have to do this dumb touch minigame for. So between that and the fact the graphics look worse, and the sound is worse, admittedly the frame rate's higher, but I don't care. And you don't have that analog stick. This is just a really shit, like, Bane broke Batman version of fucking Diddy Kong Racing on the 64. So...
Great.
Also, I'd like to know the reason why Bob thinks Diddy Kong Racing is shit. And maybe the reason you think it. I don't know in your case.
So let's see.
It is shit at multiplayer because the moment you do split screen, it runs like donkey dick. Because it's already tenuous at best running single player. It's like, hey, I'm filling the screen. I'm going to do this like 20, maybe 30 times a second. Okay, let's do this. You jump into 4-player and it's like, 1 second.
Like a fat guy who just ate a lot and who's asked to walk to his car.
No, he ate a lot and then entered a marathon. Like fucking he
a 4K.
He went a fourth of it and he's just like, I'm dying. Why are you all watching? It's bad. It's bad. Like the multiplayer in that game is real bad, which is why. And this is how bad it was. Like that game came out when I was about 7 years old ish. I guess 10, right? 1997-ish.
Okay.
Even as a 10-year-old, Jonathan would be like, hey, let's do multiplayer in Diddy Kong Racing. And I'm like, maybe let's not.
Whoa.
Whoa. I would rather take turns on single player because that's it all good.
I would rather take turns staring at a still image.
Yeah. Because that's what multiplayer is. There's a fucking still image and I'm like, just turn towards them. This is exciting. I like the sounds.
Are you pumped? I'm pumped.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, that's a shit fucking version of that game. That may be the worst conversion I've dealt with.
Maybe the multiplayer is good on that version.
I mean, I'm sure it runs way better.
Right.
So that, but I'm already intrinsically not inclined. Because the best part of that game is the single player. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, it innovates and does really interesting things. Whereas if you're just playing the multiplayer, then it's like, okay, let's do a vehicle that isn't the kart, because then I'm just going to be thinking, why aren't we playing Mario Kart?
Yeah,
because Mario
but then
Kart.
if you play the planes, it's like, this is awful. And then if you play the hovercraft, you're like, this is insanely slow.
So don't listen to that guy. That guy's a hater.
I am a hater. Watch out, internet.
Hey, Skyrim, more like
Cryrim.
That was good. I like that.
Well, yeah.
With that, we go to the news. Hey, you know, we covered it in number 72, but we didn't cover it in a podcast that ended up on our YouTube channel. Igarashi's doing that whole Igavania thing.
Yeah, it's a thing that is happening and is real, and there's a lot of money behind it now.
Bloodstained. What's the subtitle?
Ritual of the Night.
Thank you.
There it is.
I remember things. Yay. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. They've got a lot of shit going for it now. A lot of those achievement tiers.
They just added the tier of Hater.
David Hayter doing some voices called Play a Hater.
Yes, so you get him to record anything you want, and then you have that audio file, and they also put it in the game's sound test mode.
But there's only 10 of them, and they're $1,000.
Yes.
I'm just going to need you to read these lines so that way I can cut it with me talking.
We're going to have a conversation, you and I.
We're giving it voice direction. Shocked. Mildly hungry. I'm just going to record an extension of the Metal Gear Solid 3 eating a horse thing. You were going to eat it, weren't you? What? No.
Oh man, that reminds me of something completely different. The Neverhood soundtrack has sound effects tests. Have you heard them? Mm-mm. Basically, they consist of sound effects record, man reading, woman speechless, and it just goes on. There's like 3 tracks of that. They're all like a minute long.
That's so good. Neverhood's real good at shit like that. Yes. Also, if you're playing at home, make sure to check off on your GigaBoots bingo card Neverhood reference from Eric. Just check that off.
What is Neverhood?
That is that claymation thing, which the art was done by the dude who did Earthworm Jim. You can tell in the styling of the claymation. It was a point-and-click adventure.
Oh, that. Okay.
And the overworld was first person.
And creepy.
Because it was first-person claymation.
And
Because it was
soundless.
claymation, period.
If there was music, it wouldn't be so bad. It's just all you hear is and steps. That's it. It's creepy as fuck.
Yeah, I can't wait till that guy makes an Oculus Rift game.
No. Yes, but no.
Yes, no.
My mind's telling me no. My body also is saying no.
It's saying very no.
Saying ultra no. So Egavanias.
Yes, Gigavanias.
Bob, have you thrown money at it?
Not yet. My last estimate for how much I could throw it, this was $150. They also recently announced that if you get the PC version, you get in the beta.
Oh.
So I'm probably going to do the 175 tier to get my regular physical PS4 version and that PC thing so I can play the beta.
You know that this game will likely smoke your PC. Because it's designed for PS4 and Xbox One.
Right.
This may be the first thing I back ever.
Yeah, what are you backing?
Nothing above 100.
Okay. That's like a tier. And that it is many not tiers.
That's true.
So you don't want the Ring of Vega? You don't want to pay him $7,000 so he makes you a ring?
I don't think I barely made $7,000 last year, period.
A stunning admission from Eric that makes you pity him. Check off that card spot on the bingo card.
Horrible pity for Eric's shitty life. Did he say disease yet? Mark that shit off.
Oh, we just did 2 mark-offs. Bling blog. We should make a bingo card. That'd be great.
Yes.
If somebody listening's really bored, make a bingo card. Dan brings up Freedom Planet and gets angry. It's like, well,
Dan talks about Destiny and or Mighty Number 9 for over 10 minutes. Check it off. Under that, don't.
Yeah,
They
so
go off on a tangent. That's every single time.
that's the free spot in
That's the
the
free
center. If you don't label it free, you just say they go on a weird tangent. But in any case, so not 100 or not over 100.
Not over 100. Beyond that, I don't care about the art book or anything. I mean, the keychain's cool. That's the only thing I'd be like, that's neat. But beyond, I'm barely there. So
Okay. So Bob, 150. What comes with 150?
150's got the soundtrack. Wait, no, does it? It has the keychain, the art book, the physical copy of the game.
now a hardback art book.
Yeah, now a hardback art book.
achievements.
I want to say that it also has a soundtrack.
Pretty sure, yeah. So just so we're clear and covering our bases for people who don't know, Igarashi's the longtime director and producer of the Castlevania series from Symphony of the Night to Order of Ecclesia, with a couple exceptions on the N64 and
Thank God.
and Game Boy Advance, because he didn't do Circle of the Moon, I don't think. Which is a shame, because that one's really good.
Right? That's
Harmony
weird.
of Dissonance is weird.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And he announced Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, which is an Igavania, which that name is derived from the community. They came up with it. This wasn't an invention of Igarashi's, which I've seen some people not get. They thought he came up with that. So we did a weird cut. And I don't remember exactly where I left off, but
I'm wearing a squid hat now.
you are. We have a Splatoon squid hat in-house.
Yes.
Too bad you can't see it.
Yep.
It's pretty cool, though.
You have to be
Yeah.
a premium member to see that squid hat.
Yep. Kickstarter people only.
Take a pic and tweet it.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny to do, but no.
I'd actually do that anyway.
I'm so busy doing a video. I'm doing a lot of videos this week, so you guys aren't getting a video for the podcast because I'm doing a lot of videos.
The tentacles are getting tangled.
Oh, no.
Watch out.
But yeah, the only thing that kind of worries me about this Igavania thing is it's going to be 2.5D, and it's being made by Inti Creates.
That's the worrying thing for you.
Right. I really, like, as long as Iga's there and, like, supervising heavily.
Because you and I played ZX Advent.
Yes.
And that was a
And I
travesty.
played regular ZX, and that had an even worse map structure than the Advent.
I mean, here's the thing: has Inti Creates ever made a good game?
Galgun?
I mean, the Zero games are pretty
Those
good.
are pretty solid
But
games.
those are
They're just
also
brutal.
rapists like
those
ZX.
are brutal as hell.
Yeah, I mean,
So, like,
Mega Man 9
I
was
don't-
good. It was very much in the model of another game, though. I feel like they've done other stuff.
Music aside, I guess Mega Man 9 was all right. It was about as good as 4.
What else did they work on? Like that other thing they released last year. What was it? The Gunvolt.
Striker Gunvolt.
Yeah. That was so close to being good, but then just wasn't.
See, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of their things are that. Like Mega Man Zero is kind of like that for me, where it's like this difficulty's so fucking nuts. Like, how in the world?
I guess the X was also that of like, man, if you guys put this together right, the mechanics feel solid. And
I actually beat ZX, and it was a pretty solid game. It still had that difficulty, but it wasn't crazy stupid.
Right. It just became a really weird, like, I had lots of issues with the map in that game.
It was awful.
It was, just some parts like that were just horribly designed. But yeah, the controls feel good in most of their stuff.
So that's good. So you would say this game is most like Galgun, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
They're going to release Galgun 2 this year, so I mean...
Yeah? Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
You know, you can play as a Galgun main character in that they made this like weird crossover NES style game for the 3DS where you can play as the guy from Gunvolt, Mighty Number 9, or her. It's weird.
All right.
The guy from Mighty Number 9's name is Beck.
Yes.
Because it is Beck and Call.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yeah, I thought basically every portable Metroidvania or Igavania that Igarashi made was really, really good. In the grand scheme of video games, I would say better than a lot of other video games. But I have little to no faith in Inti Creates because of their experience on Mighty Number 9.
Yeah, that was definitely not a good showcase of 2.5D.
Right, and that's exactly what this is. And they were saying something about they're going to get the look to work better, which I guess, great, good. It needs to look good. And them making it for PS4 and Xbox One, designing it for that originally,
right,
is...
We are dangerously close to the 3 million mark, which unlocks what looks like a Wii U logo.
Yeah.
Which, that's dangerous.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll just be some Tony Hawk scale weird back-gen port where it's just going to look bad. But
why'd those couple guys on NeoGAF have to be that loud? I'm just saying.
I don't know. They need to be beaten with hammers. Doesn't Iga know only 10 people own Wii U's?
Only 5 of those have internet connections.
And of that, only one of them doesn't own a PS4 or Xbox One. Oh, wait, no, 2, because they're both on NeoGAF.
Let's be honest, those 2 on NeoGAF sound like they had PS4s or Xbox Ones.
The only time I ever hear people bitch for, like, Wii U ports of shit, it's because they don't own a good console. And it's like, sweetie, I'm glad that you want them to break the vision and quality of this game so you can have it too, but maybe go fuck yourself. Maybe you fucked up and you need to pay for that. Eric, who owned a Wii last gen.
What? I didn't beg for things to come to that console, though.
That's true. You weren't sitting there like, Skyrim's fine. It can run on the Wii.
The Wii.
Yeah. So, Inti Creates, I'm not the hottest on. It's better than if they went with Way Forward. I'm really interested in how their look is going to work out. I am really hoping that Iga finishes up his other duties on a mobile game, apparently, sometime soon, so he can really be hands-on with the direction here. And, yeah. I don't know what tier I'm paying at yet.
Do you have a max limit you're going to go to?
I'm not paying 500.
Okay.
You want to pay 10,000.
Yes.
For that.
Absolutely.
Win a day with Iga.
Yep.
Get one of his fingers deals.
Yep.
Not many Kickstarters give you a finger.
This is quality.
I wanted his ring or an eye, but they were like, here's a finger. Here's a nail.
I just wanted a bit of his hair. His glorious hair. I get his hat.
Yeah, there you go. Get his hat. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm kind of like, if Inti Creates weren't the developer behind this, it would be so much easier to be excited. Also, I really don't like the milestones they're hitting and the stretch goals they're hitting that are like, hey guys, we're now gonna add these pile of features. And I'm like, cool, could you just make the game better? I would just like the game you're already making, but check this out, spend the money to make it even higher quality. Because I know how that went with Broken Age. I know how that goes with games in general.
Yeah, you just start piling more and more tasks on it. It's like there's only so much time, and there's only this money can't spread that far.
Right. I mean, it is a limited time. It is a limited resource. Like, even if they extended the release date and it slipped, they still only have so much money to make it with.
Right.
So, yeah, adding all those features, now they've promised the people who are paying the money features. So they're going to try their best to deliver on that at the cost of other things. And, like, what was it? The most recent one was, like, Iga's biggest castle ever. And I'm like, hey, now, as a veteran Castlevania fan, we should not be asking for the biggest one.
Right?
I've played Portrait. I've played Harmony. And if that asshole wants to say Symphony was the biggest because those are totally one castle.
I mean, some of them are innocuous enough, like a boss rush. Like, that can't be hard to program into a game.
Actually, what was it? The classic mode one?
That's the
right above that where it's like
difficult. Yeah, reconfigure stages into a linear manner.
Yeah, that was
with
just
fixed
like
equipment.
Jesus.
I mean, it's really cool.
Yeah.
That's the coolest one on there, and I love Boss Rush. I really love Boss Rush. I played more Boss Rush of Harmony of Dissonance than I played Harmony of Dissonance normally.
Right.
And that thing's only 20 minutes long. Which there are so many bosses in Harmony of Dissonance that it's a 20-minute long boss rush.
That is insane.
If you're good at it.
Like, my record times on Ecclesia got down to like 2 minutes.
Well, yeah.
Because it was
you use a lightsaber and you're glowing with awesome power.
And that game is hardly violent once you did do that.
Look, people said they loved the shield rod, and he's like, here's your fucking shield rod. It's now a lightsaber, and everyone's like, hooray! And I'm like, it's funny because I broke this game like the cool joke it is. Here's your finally pretty Metroidvania. We're done now, bye. One of the things that I thought was the best out of this is Bob was telling me that he was like, I don't just want to make this one, I want to make it 3D so that way, I can go and make more and reuse assets. And that's what I want. Like, he did that with the portable ones, he did that, and it looked fine. Like, Symphony of the Night did it too.
Right.
And I like the innovation in the gameplay, like the difference between Harmony of Dissonance and Aria of Sorrow and Portrait of Ruin. Like, I really appreciate just all those systems. Did you smirk because I skipped one?
No, I was just thinking, well, this is one of the few games I would be like, I'm totally down for buying every year. Because it's good, unlike the yearly installments of Tony Hawk at a certain point. Yeah.
Because Tony Hawk really went to shit after Underground. Like, it's really, really, really. Oh, boy. Fuck. But yeah. No, like, the Castlevania games are fucking incredible. Like,
it is a series and genre that I deeply enjoy and would not mind spending many monies on.
Get that $10,000 collector edition.
Oh, yeah. You get to keep Iga as a pet.
We were talking about how they didn't prove that they could release, or this was a viable release.
Oh, right. Okay, my description... I was like, which, to be fair, Bob, they didn't fucking prove that there's a demand for this genre like I'm hearing every fucking game site talk about. They're like, yeah, the publisher said they wouldn't do it, and Iga and Krug went out there and proved that there's a demand for this game. And I'm like, no, they didn't prove that. They proved there's a demand for this game at $30 with a $7,000 special edition. So then we start talking about what that would be for modern, like, most games. It's like the newest Call of Duty comes with a Colt Magnum. Like, $20,000
comes
special
with
edition.
an unactivated nuclear warhead.
Right. A tiny piece of radioactive material.
The best part, the day
Destiny just came with alcohol. I don't get it. Is this heroin?
Just a note that says, you'll need this. Good luck, you'll need this.
Pack of cigarettes. Another addiction for you.
But I forgot to mention, I keep forgetting, when they initially announced the Igavania Blood Moon Echoes town.
Bloodstained Ritual tonight.
Yes. They had them played through a bunch of other, like, Metroidvania games.
Yeah, they started with an all-day stream. This is the best marketing Kickstarter's had yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, they started with an all-day stream with
They started
guests.
with that Igavania sort of whip thing to get
That's
like the
true.
mystery going, and then
Right.
that all-day stream.
Yeah.
The first one he played was Rogue Legacy, which was great. He was like, this is hard, but I want to keep playing. We got to the point where he got his first rune for Rogue Legacy, and of course, it was the vampire rune. And I was like, oh my god, this is perfect. He was like, what does that mean? I don't know what that word is in English.
It is you. You are a vampire. I am the vampire. I am the moon. I don't know how to rhyme with moon.
Poon?
Someday we'll all be poon. I don't like that.
Loon? Soon.
There are very few options, okay?
Yeah, and it's not looking good.
How about soon? Soon is easy.
Someday we'll all be soon. That's really bad, Eric.
June?
That is like creative writing poetry contest.
June?
Someday we'll all be Jude.
Prune?
You're fired.
We will all be pruned because their skin will get wrinkled. I was right. Accurate. Moving on. I'm still wearing a squid hat.
But it was singular, so we're all going to be one old man.
Yeah,
Someday we'll all be pruned.
the singularity is going to happen. So,
But we'll still get old. Don't worry.
Of course. Don't
We'll
worry
just
about
get
that.
internet old
Our avatars will age
into one old man.
into a single old man.
So that's
I
terrifying.
am Legion. We are many. Who am I again?
I need prune juice. Bob.
What's up?
Bob.
Uh-huh.
Any other comments?
Oh, man. I'm excited, but worried.
Cautiously
Yes.
optimistic.
Because it could be the best thing to happen in gaming in a long time.
All right. It
Or it could
definitely...
be a horrible pile of awful garbage.
It could be another step in my increasingly disappointing older years. Yes. As it pertains to gaming. I'm not just some jaded, sad asshole.
Right.
Wait, what?
Nope.
Oh.
No. Just gaming. That's
Okay.
why it seems like it, because I run a gaming channel.
It's true, so all you have to talk about is sadness. And
Yeah, it's like, hey, Dan, how's Destiny? It's a piece of shit, and you should all admit it. No! 5 months later, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Just blushing. Oh, you.
But I am excited that they talked about having having a lot more systems of things dropping and
Like at a crafting system.
yeah, the crafting system
on.
and all sorts of other things in there. So I'm excited to see what
else had a crafting system?
No.
Dawn of Sorrow.
No, it didn't.
And that was kind of the weakest point of that game.
It was.
I liked it.
Yes, that's because you don't want everything. You didn't have a problem with trading a boss soul for a fucking weapon, apparently.
Then you do New Game Plus and you get it again.
See, that's annoying! It's like, I'm doing this whole run for one soul. Because I got everything, Eric. I got everything! Eric! Run out of way!
So did I. I beat that game like 100%.
But then it's like, guess what? No, not on your first run you didn't.
No, not
It's
on my
like,
first
do
run, of
it
course
again.
not. Of
And I'm
course
like,
not.
fucking, I
course
had
not.
everything. So now I gotta rerun the map.
Maybe the problem is you're insane. And I took my time and enjoyed myself, you bastard.
No, my problems is a worse game than Aria's. But I'm saying the weakest point of Dawn of Sorrow is that one crux where it's like, trade a boss soul for the sword. And I'm like, it better be real good. I want that chaos ring. And it's like, come on, do it. And I'm like, can you let me know how good it is before I do this? And it's like, no, fucker, pull the trigger.
So save beforehand, do it, and then see if it's good, and then reload.
But either way, I still have to do another run on the game just for one soul.
Oh, okay.
It probably would affect me as little as affecting you. What was your weapon of choice? Was it the heavy?
I varied it up.
Yeah, see, I'm a heavy guy.
I started with the axe, the first time I went through, so
Yeah.
I sacrificed, I think, Death's Scythe,
Yeah.
which I wasn't broken up about.
Yeah.
I had Abaddon to that point. It's just spew bugs everywhere.
Right.
I mean, what killed it for me with the craft systems in that game is it made it so you weren't finding cool weapons anywhere in the castle.
Yeah,
I really,
and that,
There were sometimes, but yeah,
that's kind of... Well, no, when you found weapons, it's something that you could have crafted with the soul by
yes.
then. In fact, one thing Donosaro does really well is that if you're trying to find the most effective weapon at any point, you're mixing up what you're equipping a lot. And that's a good sign for that. But yeah, it does prevent the moment in Aria of Sorrow when you find the Claim Salias and it's fucking wicked awesome and the best weapon in Castlevania ever. And then in Dawn of Sorrow, they made it shit.
You mean not broken?
No. It wasn't broken in Aria.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
That shit's broken.
Well, you probably saw
That shit's, I'm wielding the
maxed
biggest
out-
sword in the world.
Yeah.
Like it's a toothpick. Whee!
Uh-huh.
That's stupid.
No, that's fucking wicked.
That's stupid as
It is.
shit.
It is.
He is that
sword.
okay?
That sword
He is a
Bane's
tiny, like,
evil.
17-year-old. What the fuck?
When you touch
It is a
creatures
giant
with
ass
it,
broadsword. It's made of gold light god.
yes, and it spews off crosses that burn into them.
Sword hat's coming off. I can't
It
deal
just,
anymore.
dude, it's like so awesome in Aria, and then in Dawn, it's like it's another heavy.
He's a yes.
It made me sad. What is wrong with that on paper? What is wrong with
It's yeah, fine. When you're using it, it's like ha ha ha! I'm killing everything because this is crazy.
It wasn't that overpowered. It is strong because it's holy, but it isn't like
I've seen.
it is the strongest weapon in that game, but that doesn't make it like ridiculously overpowered. Ridiculously overpowered is that Order of Ecclesia trick and the shield rod. Those, in the grand scheme of Castlevania, are ridiculously overpowered.
I no longer care.
I just showed up to say it was overpowered.
I am. No
I just
matter
showed
what
up to
I
call
say,
your mom a fat bitch, and
No
then
matter
now
what I say, you'll go.
she's 180 pounds. That's not that fat. I'm out.
No matter what I say, you go. Well, that's great, but you're a shitlord. So anyway,
I didn't say what. I never once called you a shitlord in this podcast
on air.
right now. I didn't call you a shitlord earlier today.
You. Earlier there, we sang it to the X-Men.
That's true. But you also shit packed away.
Yes, I did. Oh, because I was making you choose food when I can never choose.
Yeah, because you're being a huge hypocrite.
Yes, I was.
Yeah, you totally deserved it then.
Yeah, fine.
Yeah. It's like if you were to be like, I don't know, I like Dawn of Sorrow, and it's definitely the best in the series, even though I haven't played a lot of the other ones. And then I was just like, you're fucking... No, I'm saying it's like.
I'm saying I don't know if I ever said it was the best. I said I like it a lot.
It's like, this is a hypothetical.
Oh, it's like is this?
It's like.
Fine.
And then that. And then I just went, you're a fucking asshole. Which, you know, admittedly, if you are swinging around the statement of, I haven't played these games, they're not as good as the one I have played. That, yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Ocarina of Time is the best game ever made? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, check it out. The Fierce Deity sword is the Claim Salias. Would you want that made into a normal sword? No. Thank you for bringing Zelda into this. It helped me explain why that is sad.
So Blade & Soul's getting a Western release. That is
What the fuck is that? I don't know, Bob. We go to Bob.
It's Korean MMO, right?
Yes, it's a Korean MMO. Maybe Chinese. I think it's Korean, though. I don't...
Eric just changed the subject because as soon as I brought up the Fierce Deity sword, he's like,
I'm
no.
talking about this, man.
No, you love debating things.
That's totally Eric's stance on anything.
That sound
I'm
is
trapped in a nightmare dimension
But yeah, it's...
where everything I think is wrong.
I've heard at least 2 girlfriends say that. I don't... I'm just kidding. Holy shit. Oh my god. So what's Blade & Soul?
Blade & Soul is a really pretty MMO. That was when it was announced. It was really great looking. Now it still looks okay.
It still looks pretty nice, but not
yeah, it's not crazy anymore. I've been waiting for this game for a long time.
Yeah,
Is
a
it
very
like
long time.
Kung Fu,
Yeah,
like
it's
Blade, like that sort of thing.
Right, it's like Kung Fu and swords and such, and grappling even.
Yeah.
And all...
Much more in the vein of, like, Terra action combat than, like, menu hotkey-based combat.
Right, that's what it sounds like anyway. I haven't been able to actually see people play it, strangely enough. Other than just, pre-scripted scenarios that they show off. They're just like, oh man, look at all these cool moves. But yeah, they did a stream announcing it, and it's coming to the West. It's going to be free to play. It's not going to have any fatigue systems, which apparently in the original release it did have. Like, fatigue systems are free to play.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I get that.
Okay.
Generally, we refer to those as energy systems.
Yes.
I didn't realize that. Yeah. Okay. So they just have an energy system in it. That's really terrible.
Yeah. Apparently.
When did they remove it?
For the Western release.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought. What?
Apparently the Chinese version has it. I don't know about the Korean version.
I mean, China needs that.
Right?
I mean,
they need some stuff.
Even World of Warcraft has a fatigue energy system.
Yeah, that was added at some point to basically, like, it doesn't cut you off from playing, but it's the reverse of that, basically, where if you play sparingly, you're rewarded by getting extra buffs.
You're getting rest,
like the staying at the end thing.
You build up rest XP, but in reality, they just reversed how they presented fatigue systems to you. Instead of, oh, you're playing at regular speed and then you're damaged, you're just like, oh, you're playing at super regular, like, way better experience gains, and when you're off of rest XP, it's regular. Like, no, this is different.
Whereas this is more like a traditional energy system, I guess. Any idea with Blade and Soul, like how their energy system works?
I don't know.
But it doesn't matter. No fatigue system.
Yeah.
Only the Chinese version had a fatigue.
I'm just curious how large of shitlords they're willing to be in China and Korea.
It's also uncensored, as they've said. I don't know like how extreme this is.
Well, in China and Korea and Japan too, like they have that problem with the perceived video game addiction, so they have to limit their
that was super Korea and China's problem, which was what that comment earlier was about. But yeah, so that's
we clearly have no gaming problems in the U.S.
No, we just have 17-year-olds swatting people.
Yeah, that's true. Why isn't that story on the list? The guy was a super arrested.
Wasn't he in Canada? Doesn't count.
I don't even remember.
Canada's not North America.
It's not the United States.
Or Japan, or a video game making country.
No one makes games in Canada. Except for Dead Rising 3. Gross.
Probably some Assassin's Creed games. Ugh.
Really?
Gross.
Konami's president said some bullshit about gaming. He said mobile is where the future of gaming lies. Japan's a pretty shitty place right now.
Yeah.
It is super portables and mobile, and that is like 99% of what exists, and that's depressing.
Yeah.
There was a comment by a games journalist who was talking about, like, maybe if you've suddenly decided that the industry that you were successful in up until recently is now worthless, maybe you should think about how you've been conducting business so far instead of thinking the industry has failed you.
Well, I mean, here's the weird part, right? Like, the weird part is that their IPs are valuable, so by doing smaller releases, they kind of devalue them. Silent Hill is pretty burned to the ground, but Castlevania and Metal Gear Solid kind of weren't. I mean, Castlevania, a lot of people like Lords of Shadow 1. Nobody liked 2.
Nobody played 2 either, though. So
most people didn't even play 2. So, like, doing a budget, like, $15 game with it doesn't make sense. And as gaming exists in the States, sadly, like, that's where sustainability is. Because the AAA is nothing but Assassin's Creed every year, Call of Duty. And Konami's already given the impression that if they are going to do console AAA, it's going to be Metal Gear Solid on a yearly basis.
Which is gross.
I mean, you said that.
Yeah, that's the antithesis of that franchise.
That was the sadness of it, was you said that, Silent Hill's burned to the ground, but, like, PT made so much hype for the potential of that game, and they're like, no.
Yeah.
And they killed it. And they're like, oh, clearly no one wants this. Like, you...
They're like, don't worry, we're still in development on the Silent Hill franchise.
You hear that? That's called crickets. No one gives a shit. No one will ever be as excited for a Silent Hill game as that ever again.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. Because it's not like Konami brass can even get like some Hollywood types to deal with them. Like, that's you needed Kojima to do something like that. Yep. But yeah, that's the sad part. It's like they're sitting there and they're like, consoles aren't viable, and it's like, well, console AAA isn't. Have you considered to just check this out? There was a guy who worked at your company. His name was Koji Igarashi. He made affordable and really sustainable, profitable games. A lot. For you idiots. Let him make a console game.
No.
Oh, wow, whoops, he went over to this and he mentioned he wanted to make a game and they just threw money at him? Like a lot of money?
Weird.
Wow, weird. You couldn't have predicted that.
Well, hey, admittedly, Konami would wet their pants if they knew they could sell a $30 game with a $7,000 special edition. Most companies would. Which is why we're getting, like, special editions in the hundreds.
Most would be like, you can't do... Yeah. Oh my god, they're doing it.
Do you know how fast I think it was a $500 Borderlands special edition and the $250 special edition of Batman sold?
Now, real quick, I'm just going to say, I know certain members of our fan base like Borderlands. Borderlands! Oh, that's gross! $500 version of Borderlands?
Well, Dan.
I'm gonna
That
say,
is like, I need a steelbook edition of this McDonald's cheeseburger.
I'm gonna say that they sold out about as quickly as, say, PAX tickets.
About.
Okay.
A bit longer on the Batman one.
You might think they were amiibos.
Yes.
There was an incredible article by a newspaper where they did a questionnaire with Robert Koo about like, why do things sell out so fast? It's like, people keep giving me ideas on how to fix this, and I go, bitch, I'm Robert Koo. Paraphrased, of course, but he's like, are you kidding me? We've thought about this.
My job is doing nothing but thinking about this. Yeah, I empathize with him a lot.
It's that whole situation is depressing, though. It's like there was the only people putting on a good, like, big gaming convention, and it's impossible for one company to make enough room for everyone who is interested in games.
Yeah. Ugh.
It's just impossible.
Right, and that's why they throw 4?
Yeah,
Is
and
it
even
4
that's
now?
not enough.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because there's East, South, and
Central,
West.
East, South,
Prime. Yeah, East, South, Prime.
and Australia.
Australia. Yeah, 4.
Yeah.
That's why they throw 4 of them now. Yeesh.
It's sort of like how they already broke off their Child's Play thing into its own sort of separate entity. They're probably just gonna break off their convention thing into its own company almost.
I mean, they kind of already did that. Its official name is PAX. It's no longer the Penny Arcade Expo.
Yeah.
Hasn't been that in years. They did a lot of rebranding. Like, Robert Koo's fucking genius. He's like, good, now that I got this really popular webcomic to tie its brand to this long enough to launch these are no longer part of that. So this edgy webcomic isn't going to be weirdly conflated with this charity.
Right.
No one talk about dick wolves. Oh god. Which is why they did that.
I mean, Dick Wolves is just like one spoke on the wheel that was fucking Penny Arcade for the longest time, of just like, they said really offensive stuff a lot of the time.
Right.
They were also funny. You might notice the past tense here.
I will say that Robert Koo is unassailable as a
he's a
being.
fucking juggernaut. I would suck dick to talk to that man.
In fact, they had that friggin' comic reality show where basically they joined that show just to have a moment. They joined a reality show just so they could have the chance of talking to Robert Koo.
Yeah. They did right. Fucking A. Like, god damn. Fucking Robert Koo. God fucking.
Anyway.
So we got pretty far off of the Konami thing with this, but
sorry, special editions sold out pretty quick.
Yes.
People like special editions and will pay stupid amounts of money.
They will.
They can and have and will continue to do so till the end of time.
And yeah, Konami, they're just stupid. They don't pay enough money to get, like, the collector editions going to stores. It's like, oh, you can order it from the internet for various web games or for various shops.
From various web game shops.
Web game shops. And it's like, what? Come on, you got Metal Gear Solid. It's got Robotic Hand in there. You could have charged us $500.
Yeah, how much are they charging?
I think it's like 100. Yeah.
Yeah, that's undercharging.
This is $8 million, and it comes with a jar of nano machines.
Cool,
Son.
I'll just open it.
Can I punch steel now?
Am I a senator
He
yet?
said through the sound of his heart rate monitor as he's in the hospital.
Yes.
You don't have arms.
They took them. They ate them as food.
Did they replace them with sweet metal arms? They didn't do that, no.
They fucked off to Hawaii.
So the Nintendo World Championship is returning, and Mega64 did a funny video about it. We now go to Bob to find out what the Nintendo World Championship is. Bob, what is the Nintendo World Championship?
The Nintendo World Championship is now across 8 Best Buys across the United States. It's you go there, the winners of each contest at each Best Buy goes to E3 for a bigger contest.
That's cool. Eric, what are your thoughts on this?
That's real dumb.
Bob?
Yeah, I don't know. It's neat, I guess, if you're into that. Apparently, it's going to have
No, you're breaking the illusion.
I'm into that.
it's going to have. There's 8 competitors from the Best Buys. Mm-hmm. They compete on Nintendo NES Remix Championship mode. Mm-hmm. And then when they get to E3, there's going to 8 other secret competitors that they will be facing.
Oh, huh.
Yeah. So
Mega 64, Total Biscuit, Tobuscus.
oh god, I hope not. I'm hoping this is like some. Oh, we got like the guy who has the highest score in Donkey Kong sort of stuff.
No.
That would be fucked up.
That would. It'd be amazing.
Versus speedrunners of games is like, get out.
Has anyone in this room watched the Double Fine Adventures documentary yet?
Not yet, no.
No.
Okay. I've been meaning to. What was it? There was a clip they played on the Giant Beast Cast, which, man, what a fucking great name. But the clip they played was also referenced in a Kotaku article, I believe it was. And what it is just in one part of this larger documentary, Tim Schafer's there, and he's like, what I have right here is the marketing research done for Psychonauts. And this is what they said about what we should change about the game. And then he just reads the whole thing. And it's just fucking surreal hilarious. Because this was back when Microsoft was actually going to publish Psychonauts.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Before it switched to, was it Majesco or THQ?
I think it was THQ.
THQ? Okay. Yeah, I just remember it was a mid-tier publisher of the time and not Acclaim because I think they were probably gone by then.
Wait,
they
was
burned
Midway
out.
there?
Midway was there, but I don't think it was them.
Okay.
I don't think it was them. It could have been, but in any case, so like Microsoft marketing research told them people didn't like the tongue-in-cheek humor. They should remove all references to distinctly American things like summer camp.
What?
What?
Yeah. Like
I had no idea summer camp was distinctly American either.
Apparently, I didn't know at all.
I've never seen him go on summer camp in anime. Oh, wait.
Oh, no.
That's what we call a beach episode. But yeah, it was just like they wanted to take everything about the game that was good out. So that way they would be left with an unremarkable platform.
Leave in the collectathon. People like that.
People love that.
So it would have been the original Fuse. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuse was great. Insomniac's a great developer.
I hate that's... There's so many publishers who want to just do that. Like, this needs to appeal to everyone, thus be good for no one.
Right. Yeah, Jesus.
That's like Art 101. Like, the broader you try and make something appeal, the less appeal it has.
You say that, and yet Hollywood.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, you saw Avengers.
Can I be right about a thing this time?
Whoa, hey!
I used to be right about stuff at least once per episode.
God damn it. I'm just pointing out that Hollywood's like the one good thing that has done that, because even music doesn't really do that. Like, the stuff that gets a lot of radio play, a lot of people do get sick of it.
In general, for writing, the wider you try and make it appeal to most people, the less people care about it. And it's when it's focused on a thing, it becomes somehow more universal.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the weird thing is, like, in Hollywood, they distilled it to such an art, being that broadly appealing. I mean, there are books out there that tell you exactly how to write your movie to be that broadly appealing. Which, you know, I keep toying with the idea of I should just do it. I should just fucking write and produce a movie that's like this ridiculous broad bullshit. All the plot points come at the normal. People are like, wow, this is really professional for an indie movie. It's like, no, it's just a stupid book. Fuck everyone.
Was it like cat?
How to Save the Dog.
How to Save the Dog.
Or whatever. Save the Dog. Yeah, yeah. In any case.
Is both illuminating and depressing.
Yeah. Humanity.
Yes.
Yep.
Whoops.
Mad Max was great, though.
Mad Max was fucking incredible.
It clearly didn't follow any of that guideline.
No, because I'm pretty sure no book ever written about how to write a movie says come up with the script at the last moment, and you should have at least an hour and 40 minutes of action scenes.
This chapter scene just says bitch in cars, and then it goes on to chapter 17.
No joke, that movie has been storyboarded since 1999. They didn't have a script, and they were starting pre-production or whatever this last time when it actually got made. And Warner Brothers is like, we really need a script. And they're like, we don't do scripts. If you want to come look at the storyboard, just walk around this room. It's the wall. And they're like, no, we really need a script. And he's like, okay. And they just shit out a script with the worst dialogue ever. And clearly they were still like, okay, whatever, go ahead.
Just get over it.
This is a formality at this point.
Yeah, like, it really surprised me how much I liked Mad Max because I've never seen any of the other ones. I'm not huge into action, but it did action in a way that's really compelling, kind of like Jackie Chan movies do action in a way that's really compelling, where the plot is the action instead of this weird segregated moment, which happens a lot.
Yeah.
Like, in a lot of movies, it's like, and then the bad guys showed up and we had to escape them, but, like, that isn't... Sure, that's tied into the plot, but the plot doesn't progress during that chase. And that's what happened with Mad Max, where it's just like, they come up and then those guys are coming up behind them and then you need to do negotiations at that exact moment. And then this moment happens and all these relationships change. And they're like, well, my barter didn't work, haul ass! Yeah, it's just fucking... God, fucking that movie.
There are very few movies that I would see more than once in the theater, but Mad Max, I would totally do that.
I feel like I might go mad if I watch it again in theaters. I need it on Blu-ray so I can pause it.
Right? That's probably for the best.
You can take a break, masturbate, come back, then continue.
Oh God. The mind is willing, but the flesh is
punchy and bruised.
Yeah, that movie was really fucking good in a way that if you ever described it to me, I would have been like, cool, great, whatever. But having seen it, I was like, no, it was incredible. That was like one of the best movies ever made. How did the fuck did that happen?
Right?
Because if you give me a plot synopsis, it's like dumb motherfuckers who are extreme as hell drive through a desert and kill the shit out of each other. Like there's the main clan in it all look like Quan Chi, but in any case,
I've seen the ads.
They have like some kamikaze thing they do where they spray their mouth with chrome spray paint. And then they say some line that's like some Viking sort of shit of like, we go out chrome and shining. And then like, this dude does this as he rips a fuel cable out and starts filling his car with gasoline so he can light it and explode the car. Max is tied to the hood of this car as a hood ornament and just goes, no! Rips his way out and beats the shit out of him for trying to kill both of them. This movie's incredible. I mean, like, fucking, I told Bob after watching the movie, I'm like, my favorite part of the movie is the first 20 minutes where our main character's hood ornament. Because he really is that potent in the story.
Yeah.
The story isn't him.
But
He's just there and he's like, fuck!
but at the end, does he keep Magneto away?
No, it's more like a Slytherin, like, go into the crowd.
I see.
You know what was a really good movie? Grand
What?
Budapest Hotel.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
fucking...
It was grand.
I for a moment there, a coworker asked me, he was like, this movie was like the best movie of last year. And I'm like, nah, that was X-Men. Was it Birdman? They were like, Birdman was the best movie of last year. And I was like, nah, it was X-Men. That was so good. Halfway through, I went, wait, this is an X-Men movie. I'm enjoying it. Oh, this is well made. What the fuck is going on, Colonel? And he's like, I swear I didn't know, Snake. And I'm like, the fuck you did it. You ordered these tickets. But yeah, no. And then like later in the day, I remembered Grand Budapest Hotel happened. I was like, no,
was that last year? I thought
it was released both on home and in theater last year.
Okay, because I thought it came out really, really close to the end of the year before, and then we just got it on video.
Man, that would have been like 11 months to home release, which isn't usually done now.
Yeah.
I mean, I can look it up on my phone to confirm. But yeah, in any case, it was a really good movie. And I doubt we're beating Mad Max this year, so...
Yeah, no, I mean,
that's
looking at the
unfortunate.
slate of this year, no way.
Fucking...
Unless that Star Wars movie is somehow amazing, and that's not going to happen.
I don't want to believe that. I mean, it looks good, but that's not like, you know...
Yeah, the other contenders are what? Gem?
They'll be hard
Fucking
pressed
no, Jesus. Fuck.
unless it is basically just Mad Max in space.
Have you seen Gem? Like the trailer for Gem in the...
No.
It was fucking stunning how much they neutered that original source material. Now it's just literally all it's about is chicks in a band.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, I watched the trailer, it's surreal. Like, it's a horror movie moment of, this isn't... What?
Like, I barely cared about the source material to begin with.
Right.
And I know you bastardized it.
Right. I don't give a fuck at all, but it's really weird for Hollywood to license a product and a brand, right?
And then not use the brand.
And then just neuter it to such an extent that it's like, congrats, you got the names.
You could literally have made this movie without that.
And it would have just as much appeal.
Yeah.
Because no one who liked the original thing is going to go watch this movie that clearly isn't that. Yeah, it was weird. It was real weird. Hey. 30,000 H1Z1 players were banned for cheating. For more details, we go to Eric. Eric.
They were banned for cheating. And then the head guy at H1Z1 was like, okay, if you go on YouTube and apologize and send us the link to it, you don't give us any of your just say, I'm sorry, and say this is my username. When you email me, I'll reactivate your account. So far, only 3 people have done it. Or like a handful.
And it's not an apology to developers. Apparently, an apology that has to be addressed to everyone in the community.
That's pretty good.
Right?
I like that.
Sort of like public shaming in a very general way. It's just like, yeah, I cheated, and I'm sorry.
At the same time, it's like, but H1Z1 is such a broken piece of garbage game.
Yeah, okay, Grand Budapest came out in February. Wait, March.
Okay.
Yeah. 6 months to home release makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Like, okay, so here's the weird thing, right? You say public shaming, and I'm like, I guess it is, but like, I don't know. I can't even think of what's popping in my head when I hear public shaming. It's more like, we put you on a pedestal, like, if the...
And throw fruit at you.
Right, like almost like, which this would be incredible. If the developer will do this, that would be great. They just upload a video of them being like, this shitlord, Uncle Jack's 37. He needed more ammo. So he hacked the game. What an asshole.
This idiot, Dank Kush 420, is unoriginal and also cheated.
Burn! Pulls the switch. You just hear, ah! That would be great. I want a developer that has those balls. They would make so much money from people finding out about their game through them doing that. Yeah, could you believe that? Those guys made a video where they made fun of me. What? I need to see this.
There was a similar story this week about Guild Wars 2, where they finally caught a notorious cheater who was like screwing up with the major battlefields. They got him into the town. They took control of his character, got him into the town square, stripped his character naked, and had him jump to his death off of a cliff.
I like it.
And then banned him.
Good. Excellent. That's how you do it. Bob, there was a Doom teaser.
Yeah.
It had 5 seconds of gameplay.
It was all Screaming Skullman.
Gameplay? I didn't see any game being played. I saw
that's true.
Screaming Skullman. With gun
With chain gun
backpack.
armor, yeah. It was pretty incredible.
Yeah.
I'm psyched.
I want to know what they're doing with this. Because that looked pretty sweet.
Because, you
I'm
know,
very
Wolfenstein
interested.
should have been that.
I'm really interested in that story, the Screaming Skeleton. I want to know his backstory.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, probably.
Yeah. More like in the way that you see the cover of a metal album and you're like, I can't wait to get into this wicked shit. Kind of that. I'm like, man, that skeleton's fucking angry.
But
What's he angry at? Gotta find out.
But yeah, if they come out at E3 and it's...
Or I should punch the shit out of it.
That's true.
I hear it has like a huge dismemberment system, so that's going to be good.
That's fucking good. Technology at work. There we go.
Improving games left and right.
But yeah, if this comes out and it has some sort of ridiculously story-based trailer that feels like Doom 3 or Wolfenstein, I will just be upset.
Me too. I want every trailer from here on out to be like that.
Feature a different screaming enemy each time.
Yeah. And it'll be like the Nintendo ones where it's like do 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 do, and it plays some nice music and then it slides in a JPEG of like whatever enemy it is. And then it just cuts to a clip.
It could also be the main character screaming while he shoots 2 machine guns.
Because the struggle's real. It's the emotional weight of blowing all these demons straight back to hell.
I think some of the things I heard of when they first showed it off was he apparently rips off people's arms and beats them to death with them. So
Yes, I wouldn't doubt it. I read that too, and I'm like, is that a cutie? Or like, just like, you switch to your hands.
right?
Or is that like a Metal Gear Rising choose what limb to go for with your arms?
Yeah, you got your shotgun Zundots. So like, you pulled the trigger, and as you pull it, you go to grab the limb to brace it. And the bullets blow it off, and then you've got the limb, and you just go for it. Now you're dual wielding with the power of an ox. I found sheep in the big city online to watch illegitimately.
Oh shit.
I am so happy.
Oh god.
Yeah.
What was Sheep in the Big City on?
Cartoon Network.
Okay, I was like, is that a Comedy Central show? Just because it had that almost air of Duckman to me.
It was very postmodern. Like, it was super aware of its own trappings as a series. It was like, unfortunately, to power the sheep-powered ray gun, we need a sheep that fits this exact mold. And then somebody's like, wouldn't it have made more sense to get a sheep first and then make the mold? Like, all sorts of moments like that. Where it's just like, no one pays you to think, private public. Yeah, it's real good. It's real good. That Doom teaser is great.
Yeah.
But I'm going to move on.
That's cool.
Oculus Rift. They put out the minimum specs. Now, early in this podcast, when we were talking about what games we were playing, I took my phone here, you know, and I set up these parts that they recommend for a PC.
Okay.
I didn't include the case
Are you like
or the power supply.
looking at a game like a PC website to see how much these parts would cost?
I went to Amazon
Okay.
and threw just a motherboard, some RAM, the processor, and a GPU. The GPU being recommended here is the GTX 970 or an AMD 290. The CPU is an Intel i5-4590 equivalent or greater. All these are equivalents or greater, except for 8 gigabytes plus of RAM. I only put 8 in here, I think. Yeah, even though there's a plus there, so it's kind of the implication of like, you should definitely have more than 8. And then it says something stupid like compatible HDMI 1.3 video output, which you would have if you had those video cards or better.
Right.
And 2 USB 3.0 ports. So once again, all I have is the CPU, GPU, RAM, and motherboard. I don't have the case. I don't have the power supply. I don't have other things you might need, like a hard drive or whatever. $713.96. So by the end of all that, you're looking at a PC that's maybe under $1,000.
Right?
Maybe.
And not including the cost of the Oculus if they end up
Absolutely not. No.
Have they announced
no.
what the price
No.
point is yet?
How much are the dev kits? Like 250, 300?
I don't know.
Okay.
I was never able to buy one, so.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of it's a little pricey. Just a little pricey. PC gamers, of course, probably don't care, but PC gamers probably also don't realize that this wouldn't run on most of their systems. Because PC gaming isn't what it used to be. The PC Master Race used to legitimately have, like, insanely high-end stuff compared to consoles. But nowadays, it just seems like the, quote, PC Master Race is a bunch of people who think their PCs are more powerful than consoles, but then they bitch when the PC version doesn't run as well as the console versions, alleging that the
developers didn't try
sloppy optimized. Yeah. Like, I've looked at the Steam, like, spec census enough to be like, man, the majority of people on Steam have shit PCs. Like, they're nowhere near capable. Because the 2x USB 3.0 ports means, do you have a motherboard in the last generation or two? Then fuck you. Like, you don't get to, is basically what that is.
Your gaming certified laptop from Alienware, no.
Yeah.
Sweetie. No.
So yeah, this is pretty intense because, you know, GTX 970 is the second highest of the latest NVIDIA. Like, it should be the second or third highest. It costs $370.
Whew.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Here's the reason they're not launching right now.
Yeah, I mean, this will definitely give more time for more video cards to be on the market that are good enough. But here's the problem. A next generation mid-range card isn't necessarily better than a 970. Because that's the way that works out. It is a new generation of technology, but that doesn't make it as high-end. So really, the next generation GPU that's equivalent to that 970 probably is only going to be $300 instead of $370. So it's still not cheap. And that's, you know, how that'll go.
I mean, and that's kind of the domain of this, so it's going to be very expensive.
Yeah, and I mean, old school PC gaming style, that actually isn't very expensive. That's only, like, kind of.
I mean, old school PC gamers buy $800 GPUs.
Yeah, $1,000 GPUs.
$1,000.
Fucking, they buy $1,000 CPUs. Like, it used to be $3,000 for a really good cutting edge, like, PC. Nowadays, like, unless you want that $1,000 GPU or some absurd amount of RAM that your game won't use, So yeah, I mean, those specs are fine. It looks like all I need is, like, a bit more RAM and a new GPU, but I already knew I needed both of those just for color grading, so I guess my PC will be capable of doing it.
Huh.
So, you know, that's good. Get my porn box. You're like, Dad, your PC's in my house. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh.
You're not here all the time.
Oh, that's terrible. You gotta work sometime.
You're just like, no, I don't.
The worst part is I've cleared, like, the coffee table out of the way. I have the Oculus. I'm all the way over here in the open area, and the curtains are open, and my pants are down. And I'm just like, oh, God, yes. Your neighbors are just like, that is the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. Because tell me if you fucking woke up and looked out your window and you saw a fucking naked dude
with a headset.
with a cable coming out of the back of it, yelling and beating
yelling, I'm taking the red pill.
Yeah, that is top tier, the scariest shit I could ever expect to see out my window.
Okay.
And the scariest thing you could see from looking out of that window is the one guy in the back going, yeah.
No, the worst part is I can't see him right at the windowsill because I've got the headset on and he's like, you got a nice dick.
Who said that? Thank
I just turned towards him. Thanks. I thought so too. GigaBoots has been brought to you by the support of our producers Vincent Poverk and Cywolf via our Patreon. Consider becoming a GigaBoots patron today.